Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to simplify and systematize and grow their established or brand new weight loss practice. I'm your host, Karol Clark, and last week I had, probably 3 or 4 people make a comment to me, something like this. One was, I don't know that I've met anyone who's such a prolific content creator than you. And the other comments related to a couple people who have watched, I can't even believe it, all my videos that are out there, which sounds, I know, like personally, like if you were thinking of someone watching your own videos, it can be, I can think of that as a little bit of torture, but I had a number of people who said that they've watched a lot of them, they read all my blogs, and a couple people just said, I don't even know how you create all the content that you create. And so I'm going to share with you exactly how that happens. And I am somewhat of a prolific content creator. There are certainly tons of people out there who create way more than I do. But here's what I do. I just try to focus on things that I think will be really impactful for the practitioners that I serve and their teams. And I like to make sure that whatever I'm sharing is something that is tactical, something you can use today, and something that's true and that will help them. So I do a few things. The first thing is I always have a notebook with me where I am constantly writing down ideas. If I'm on a conversation with a client and they have a question about something or they're struggling with something, I'll immediately write it down because I think I need to address that. I need to talk about that. And even if we're going to be going on a vacation soon with our 4 kids who are scattered about the U.S. We're all meeting. We're going to be doing a lot of hiking and canyoneering, lots of activities, but I know I'll have ideas that pop up in my travels while we're there, and I don't let it take over, but if I have ideas, I just quickly jot them down and I write them all down. So I am always generating ideas about ways to help people, because just like you, we're in this to help other people. You're here to help your patients, and I encourage you to do the same. When you have patients who are in your room or in your team, to do the same thing. Jot down the questions that they have. Jot down some of the frustrations or concerns or things that you think, oh, it drives me crazy that people believe that myth, or it drives me crazy that people do whatever it is, and you write it down, and it just makes it so that you have these ideas constantly flowing and something that you want to address. I do encourage you to try to keep it short, particularly for videos. A lot of my blogs are a little bit longer, and the ones that I write for practices, they're a little bit longer, but it all relates to what your audience, the people that you serve, want to hear. So that's the first thing. Always be generating ideas. The next thing is I prioritize content creation. It's something that I'm paid to do for various companies and also for some practices. So it's right in my schedule. And the things I do for Weight Loss Practice Builder, of course, is for the business here, but it's more really just to serve people. But you want to prioritize. And if you're the one creating content, or you're the one who has to review content people are creating for you, you want to make sure that you've prioritized that into your schedule so that it is consistently accomplished. Every piece of content is not going to be perfect by any stretch, but the important thing is to have it on your schedule to get it done. So that's probably my third advice, is to just make sure that you don't become such a perfectionist that it stops you from doing anything to help your clientele, or stops you from hiring that ideal person who can help get your message out into the world. So that's my third thing. So first of all is always have ideas that you can record and jot down however you want to do that. Second thing is prioritizing it and putting it into your schedule. The third thing is not to be such a perfectionist that you never create anything, whether it's written or whether it is video or just audible, that sort of thing. The fourth thing is to batch your content. When I'm creating a lot of content, I'll have all those ideas that I've generated, and I will go ahead and I'll pick the ones I think are most pertinent right now, and I'll record a number of them in a day. I block on my schedule, and I do the same thing with practitioners. I'll come into their practice. We do a whole day or two of doing video. We've prepped a lot ahead of time. Everything is ready to go. So we're just recording, and then my team and I take it and we create all their videos for 6 months or longer. And it's a beautiful thing. But I do the same thing at Weight Loss Practice Builder. I batch my content because for me, it's just easier. I just have a number of different outfits all ready to go. I've got my my setups all done, and then I have it all prepped. That's the other key thing, is to make sure it's prepped ahead of time. That makes batching much more successful and much more enjoyable and less frustrating. So that is my fourth tip. And my fifth one is to take everything that you do and leverage it. And I just have one team member who is phenomenal at taking whatever I create, and then she gets it out there in a bigger way. You've got to have some help with this. It's something that you can do yourself. I do have a couple practitioners who do post like up to 5 times a week, and they're doing it themselves, but they also can get kind of tired of it. And as their practices are growing, that's not going to always be feasible. They can do some personalized live videos as they go along, but it can be really difficult to do. So you want to have, even if it's just one team member, a VA, somebody who can take what you create and then leverage it. Sometimes people say, Carol, why do you have a YouTube channel? Do you really get much from that? I've seen them, but they don't really have any views. It's how things are searched. So yes, I love YouTube. I love to put it on Instagram. It also goes on my Facebook page. I turn every bit of content into blogs, and we create graphics and quote graphics that help lead to the blogs, all things we want to get back to our website with a clear call to action. It is something that's really important, but you always have to have quality content to get it out there. So anyhow, I try to keep it short. This one's about 6 minutes. I even try to keep them less. And when I'm doing them for practitioners, we do a lot of shorter reels. But the important thing is to make sure that you're addressing what your audience wants. So my tips again, first of all, is to, as you get ideas, write them down. We are really busy people. We want to make sure that we have those written down. And I actually go back and I check them off after I do them, so I'm not duplicating content a lot, because you can have one topic that relates a few different ways. So always have your ideas that you are documenting, and then you want to make sure that you prioritize this and put it into your schedule so that you have it into your schedule. Try not to be a perfectionist so that you never get anything accomplished is the third one. The fourth one is to batch if you can. It can make your life a lot easier, and it can, especially if you're going out of town or vacation, or you've got some busy time coming up, you already have things are recorded, ready to go, and all ready to be out there. And then the last tip is to leverage the use of whatever it is that you create. And we mentioned all the different social media. You don't have to do all of them. Find out where your people are, put it on there, and make sure it gets out there. I do love YouTube and Instagram are probably two of my favorite. And of course, my blog on the website. Everyone should have a blog. You should always have everything leading back to your website where people can find you and figure out what to do. And then we can also take the content that you create and make courses out of it. So I'm creating a course with a couple of different physicians. We create those and build them out on membership sites. We can create courses. You can create books. I'm working on a couple books with some docs. And you take whatever you have and you leverage it so that you can get that message out there in a bigger way and really take the time that you put into it, because we do all try to create very valuable content, something that's really important. But we want to make sure that we have it accessible to people no matter how they like to get their information, whether it's a podcast, which I love as well. I didn't get into podcasting, but podcasts or blogs or books or courses or, your reels on Instagram and your videos on YouTube. So we want to optimize all that, leverage it. And anyhow, that's how I've developed this system over time, how I become a sort of prolific content creator. Bottom line is I really do enjoy it, whether it's writing or videos. But the bottom line is I always want to make sure I have something valuable, and I want to make sure that it's serving the people, my primary audience, which is busy, like I say, busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize and simplify their practice and of their newer established practice. So that's That's sort of in a nutshell how I tend to do it. There's lots of different ways you can do it. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're not a member of Bariatric Business Accelerator, I encourage you to think about that. Go to bariatricbusinessaccelerator.com. You can learn all about it. And if you just have a quick question or something you want to ask me, Karol, Karol, at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. Your email does come directly to me and only me, so I can respond. So anyhow, I hope you have an awesome day and happy content creation. Take care.